Shalom, family. Welcome again. It's your brother Ananias for A.O.I, the Awakening of Israel. And what an honor it is to be able to speak to you again, Lord willing. Just want to start out by giving all praise and honor and glory to the Most High God of Israel. At last, at first, before all things, above all things, we must give praise and honor and glory to the Most High God of Israel at all times. What else should we be doing? You know? But like I said before, it's an honor, it's a privilege, it's a pleasure to be able to come to you before you, all brothers, sisters, and children of the nation of Israel. It's an honor. Tonight, as always, we're going to be doing another Savory Sunday where we break down God's commandments, hopefully being a sweet savor unto the Most High God. How do you do so? By keeping his commandments. But we're going to get a more in-depth breakdown of what I mean. Let's go to Ephesians chapter 5, verse 2. Verse 1. It says, "Be ye therefore followers of God as dear children, and walk in love as Christ also loved us, and have given himself for us an offering and a sacrifice to God for a sweet smelling savor." So in order for us to be a sweet smelling savor, those of us who have been awakened to this truth, the way to be a sweet smelling savior, something that's pleasurable, or not pleasurable, but pleasant to the Most High God, is by keeping his commandments. And that's the whole message of the truth, to keep God's commandment. So in order to do what's pleasing to the Most High God, we must keep his commandments. And Savory Sundays is dedicated to teaching our brothers and sisters in-depth breakdowns about keeping God's commandments. Simple commandments, because he tell you that his commandments are not grievous. But here in Babylon the Great, due to our disobedience, we have been taught nothing but lies. Yes, lies. So we're going to go into the scriptures, get an in-depth breakdown as to what we're talking about. And tonight's topic is going to be talking about, how do you like your steak? Yes, how do you like your steak? Because here in Babylon the Great, they give you an option. They give you choices. You go to your favorite restaurant, I don't know, your Applebee's, your Longhorn Steakhouse, your Ruth Chris, whatever steakhouse you known to have in your area. They give you choices. Even when you at home cooking, you have choices. But the Most High God gave commandments for you to keep. Now, he did give you choice to either keep his commandments and live, or break his commandments and die. But here in Babylon the Great, they don't tell you that you have an option of living or dying. They just say, live how you want to, choose what you want to. You only live once. But that's not how the Most High God operates. And what do I mean by that? Like I said, when you go to the restaurants, order a steak, even a hamburger, they always ask you, how do you want it cooked? Rare, medium well, well done. They give you options. And only if you had the right information beforehand would you make the right choice. But when you don't have the knowledge that's needed, you'll end up 9 times out of 10 making the wrong decision. So that's what we aimed at doing, giving our people education, giving them knowledge according to thus saith the Lord, so that going forward you can make the right decisions and change the future of your children's mindset as well as those around you. That's our whole aim. So from there, let's go to Romans 15 and 4. The book of Romans, chapter 15, verse 4. "For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope." So whatever is written in the scriptures is written for our learning, the nation of Israel, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We are the Israelites, the nation of Israel. This Bible was written to us, for us, by us. For what? Basic instructions on how we as a people are supposed to conduct ourselves, how we're supposed to handle business, how we eat, how we dress, how we deal with each other. That's what the Bible is for. And it gives us testimonies throughout the Bible. That's why you have the Old Testament and the New Testament. Testimonies, stories, truth, to help you throughout your life to be able to deal with the things that you go through. showing you how and why things happen and how to deal with them. But it says things were written aforetime, meaning in the past, were written for our learning. That's common sense. But let's go to Genesis 1 and 29. As we talking about uh, how do you like your steak? Because a lot of our people just think that they can do what they want to do, not knowing the history, not knowing your background, not knowing what's really going on in this world. You know what I'm saying? Because to be honest, which I'm always going to be with you, it's my job. It's your job to be honest. It's to give you the truth. The truth of the matter is we are not supposed to be eating red meat. We're not supposed to be eating anything with blood in it. Think about that. You know, we're not supposed to be eating anything with blood in it. But the restaurants, these nations, the movies, they give you options and you'll see things like this. You know?
Have you ever heard of the raw meat diet? That's right, a diet that consists of eating raw meat all day, every day. Most of us have been taught to avoid raw meat like it's the plague. But is it really that bad for you? These people seem to be doing all right, I guess. What would be the best way to eat raw meat?
Once again, like I said, they want to give you options to make you think that you have a choice in the matter. No, that is not what the Most High God deals with, you know? So once again, how do you like your steak? We're going to go and get some history because whether you want to believe it or not, or what you are ignorant about, is the fact that in the beginning, man did not eat meat. Yes, I know it's shocking, but man did not eat meat in the very beginning. Let's prove that. Let's go to Genesis chapter 1, verse 29. And it reads, and God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree, in the which is fruit of the tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. You see that? And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life. I have given every green herb for meat, and it was so. And God saw that everything that he made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. So what did we just learn? What did we just read? We read in Genesis, the beginning, that God gave us fruit, tree, herb from the ground to be meat. He didn't give us meat to eat in the beginning. So if we didn't have meat in the beginning, when did we get introduced to eating meat? It's in the Bible. Let's go get there. Let's go to Genesis chapter 9, verse 1. Genesis chapter 9, verse 1. And it reads, and God blessed Noah and his sons and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. So what are we learning right here? We talking about Noah. This is after the flood. I'm going to keep reading. Verse 2. And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, and upon every fowl of the air, upon all that moveth upon the earth, and upon all the fishes of the sea. Into your hand they are delivered. Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you, even as the green herb have I given you all things, but flesh. Before I keep reading, so we just learned that after the flood, the Most High God allowed Noah and his sons, or gave Noah and his sons dominion over everything once again, but he also put the dread of man over everything, and he gave man meat, just like he gave them the green herbs as meat. So now after the flood, man is able to do what? Eat meat. Do your research, do your fact research, or just do some research, period. I put it that way. Stop running off with being ignorant and being one of those individuals that just go by word of mouth. Do a little bit of research. Do a little bit of reading. It won't hurt. Can't do nothing but be beneficial to you. But I'll keep reading. Genesis chapter 9, verse 4. But flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall ye not eat. So the Lord is telling Noah and his sons what? We can't eat meat with blood in it. So your rare steaks, your medium well, or your medium rare, your medium well, we can't eat that. It has to have no blood in it. I'm going to keep reading though. Verse 5, and surely your blood of your lives will I require. At the hand of every beast will I require it. And at the hand of man, and at the hand of every man's brother will I require the life of man. Whosoever sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For if the image of God made he man, and you be fruitful and multiply, bring forth abundantly in the earth and multiply therein. So there you go. We are not supposed to eat blood in the meat. You don't believe me? It's mentioned all throughout the scriptures. Let's go to Deuteronomy 12 and 23. Deuteronomy chapter 12 and 23. And it reads, only be sure that thou eat not the blood, for the blood is the life, and thou mayest not eat the life with the flesh. You see that? He breaks it down and he gives you explanation as to why we're not supposed to eat the blood. Why? Because it's the life in the blood. Life is in the blood. Think about that. Let's go to Acts 17 and 25. Life is in the blood. We're not supposed to eat it. Acts 17 and 25. And it reads, neither is worship with men's hands as though he needed anything, seeing he giveth to all life and breath and of all things. So what are we saying right here? Neither is worship with men's hands as though he needed anything. Talking about the Most High God. He don't need nothing from us. There's nothing that we can give him. The only thing we can do is be obedient. Saying that he gives life, breath to all things. So he's telling us what? We're not supposed to do what? Eat meat with blood in it. Why? Because the blood has life in it. We don't have the power to give life. So why are we eating it? The question is, why do you see it on the TV? Why do you see it in your cartoons, your movies, on your Halloweens when the vampire run around sucking blood? What does he do? He's sucking the life out of you. You ever heard of that? It's a reason for that. It's in the scripture. Everything comes from the scriptures. But from there, let's go to Sirach, chapter 19 and verse 19. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach, chapter 19, verse 19, and it reads, the knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is doctrine of life, and they that do these things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality. So what are we saying right here? What is life? You know, because he when he formed man, he blew through his nostrils what? The breath of life. And this right here is saying the knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life. So keeping the commandments of the Lord is life. That's what he blew into Adam. His commandments. And that's pleasing to the Lord when you keep his commandments. It's not hard, simple, but you got to be willing to search that out. So we know we're not supposed to eat the meat with blood in it because it's life in the blood. Simple as that. There's a couple other things you need to know about that. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 3 and 17. Leviticus chapter 3, verse 17. Bear with me. And it reads, it shall be a perpetual statute. Perpetual, that word means forever. We still here, so we're supposed to be keeping it. Yes, Israelite man, woman, and child. We are still here. We are still supposed to be keeping God's commandments. Once again, this is Leviticus chapter 3, verse 17. It shall be a perpetual statute for your generations throughout all your dwellings, that ye eat neither fat nor blood. So I know a lot of y'all be out barbecuing, grilling, getting down with the meats. But what is the Most High saying? You're not supposed to eat blood nor the fat. Hey, I'm guilty of it. I done it before too, not knowing, being ignorant of the fact. And yes, it does taste good from time to time. It did. But learning these commandments, that was a simple thing to turn away from, you know. But the fact remains, we're not supposed to have blood in our food, and we ain't supposed to eat the fat thereof. It's that simple. Why is that? Let's go to Leviticus chapter 7, verse 1. Because we know why we're not supposed to eat the blood, but why not the fat? Let's go to Leviticus chapter 7, verse 1. Likewise, this is the law of the trespass offering. It is most holy. In the place where they kill the burnt offerings, shall they kill the trespass offering, and the blood thereof shall he sprinkle round about upon the altar. And he shall offer it, all the fat thereof, the rump, and the fat that covereth the inwards, and the two kidneys, and the fat that is on them, which is by the flanks, and the caul that is above the liver with the kidneys, it shall he take away. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar for an offering made by fire unto the Lord. It is a trespass offering. So the main reason why we're not supposed to eat the fat, because that was offered unto the Lord, just as well as the blood sprinkled upon it. An offering made to the Lord. Think about that. You are not going to hear this in your churches, your schools, your jobs, or the restaurants. They'll give you the option to do these things. And we not understanding what's going on, we'll just jump right into it. Being in ignorance. Just go ahead without asking any questions. Smell good, taste good, gotta be good. We gotta think. We gotta be better than that, Israel. Let's go to Deuteronomy 15 and 23. Deuteronomy chapter 15, verse 33. 23, excuse me. And it reads, only thou shalt not eat the blood thereof, thou shalt pour it upon the ground as water. So a lot of hunters do it, a lot of butchers do it. You should do it at home when you rinsing your meat. Pour that blood out. And then you cook it and make sure you cook it all the way through. You know, cook it all the way through. No pink, no red, no blood. Understand that. Now let's go to Deuteronomy 14 and 21. Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 21. And it reads, ye shall not eat of anything that dieth of itself. Thou shalt give it to the stranger that is in thy gates, that he may eat it, or thou mayest sell it upon the alien. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not seethe a kid in his mother's milk. You see that? So also, we ain't supposed to eat those defiled things. If anything, give it to the stranger. You know? But from there, let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 14. 1 Samuel chapter 14. And we're going to start at 23. It's I'm going to read 23 to 24 to 35. Kind of a long read, but it makes sense with what we're talking about. This is 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 24. And the men of Israel were distressed that day, for Saul had adjured the people, saying, cursed be the man that eateth any food until evening, that I may be avenged on my enemies. So none of the people tasted any food, and all they of the land came to a wood, and there was honey upon the ground. Excuse me, y'all. And when the people were coming to the wood, behold, the honey dropped, but no man put his hand in his mouth, for the people feared the oath. But Jonathan, this is King Saul's son, but Jonathan heard not when his father charged the people with the oath. Wherefore he put forth the end of his rod that was in his hand and dipped it in the honeycomb and put his hand in his mouth, and his eyes were enlightened. Then answered one of the people and said, Thy father straitly charged the people with an oath, saying, Cursed be the man that eateth any food this day. And the people were faint. So King Saul charged the people and told them, don't eat nothing, basically like a fast. And his son didn't hear what was going on. So they walking through the woods, they see a honeycomb. They see honey pouring out this thing. They hungry, they starving to the point they about to faint. They see his son come through, stick his rod in the honeycomb and taste it. They looking at him like, how we got more respect for your father, not to eat, but you gonna do what you want to do. So they question him. Then it said, then one of the people and said, Thy father straightly charged the people with an oath, saying, Cursed be the man that eateth any food this day. And the people were faint. Then said Jonathan, My father have troubled the land. See, I pray you, how mine eyes have been enlightened, because I tasted a little of this honey. How much more if haply the people had eaten freely today of the spoil of their enemies, which they found? For had there not been excuse me, let me read that again. For have there not been now a much greater slaughter among the Philistines? And they smote the Philistines that day from Michmash to Ajalon, and the people were very faint. So when the brother Jonathan tasted of the honey, his eyes were open to see other things that they weren't able to see. Basically saying that on this day we should have been taking other spoil, because we destroyed a lot of the Philistines. But I'm going to keep reading. Verse 32, and the people flew upon the spoil and took sheep and oxen and calves and slew them on the ground, and the people did eat them with the blood. Then they told Saul, saying, Behold, the people sin against the Lord. How do they sin against the Lord? By eating the blood in the meat. What is sin? Breaking God's commandments. So let's read that again. Then they told Saul, King Saul, saying, Behold, the people sin against the Lord, and that they eat with the blood. And he said, Ye have transgressed. Roll a great stone unto me this day. So he said, I can't believe my people going off like this. Roll a stone over me right now. Verse 34, and Saul said, Disperse yourselves among the people, and say unto them, Bring me hither every man his ox, and every man his sheep, and slay them here and eat, and sin not against the Lord, and eating with the blood. So he said, hey, rather than y'all sitting here telling me what the people do, disperse. Go out into the people and make sure that they bring their sheep and their oxen, whatever they got to eat up here, so we can offer it to the Lord. Pour the blood out, so we ain't transgressing or sinning against the Most High God. And all the people brought every man his ox with him that night and slew them there. And Saul built an altar unto the Lord. The same was the first altar that he built unto the Lord. So just a little small story in the scriptures showing you that our people knew that we were not supposed to be eating of the blood. But because of lack of judgment and not trusting in the Lord, but they was obedient to their king, they didn't eat. They were in a mini fast, if you will. You know, they didn't eat, but when they saw that they could eat something, they were so faint to the point where they thought they were going to starve to death. They just started ripping the animals open, basically, and start eating. That's not our custom. The king knew that. They knew that. But had to make offerings to the Lord as for what? Repentance, for trespass. Our people were going off the same way we going off today. But today, we don't know because we don't read and they don't teach it to us. You know, we've been dumbed down. We don't know our heritage, our customs. And Lord willing, you coming into this truth, you getting some real understanding. And that's our message. That's our goal, to wake up the 12 tribes of Israel, give them the understanding as to what and how to keep the commandments of the Most High God. That's the whole point of a Savory Sunday. From there, let's go to Acts 15 and 20. It's in the New Testament as well. Acts 15 and 20. Give me a minute. Acts 15 and 20, and it reads, but that we write unto them that they abstain from fornication, and from things strangled, and from blood. So there's a pollution when you eating that blood. Stay away from it. Pollutions of idols, from fornication, and things strangled, and from blood. You see that? You're supposed to stay away from these things. This is in the New Testament. For those who say the law is done away with, this is in the New Testament. Let's go to verse 29 and see what it says. It says that ye abstain from meats offered to idols and from blood. You see that? Once again. Why? Because life is in the blood. And from things strangled, and from fornication, from which ye keep yourselves, ye shall do well, fare ye well. So following them simple commandments, you'll do well in life. Understand that, Who eats red meat? We shouldn't be, but who does? The Bible gives context clues to everything, gives you answers to everything. Who was the first one to eat red meat with the blood in it? Let's check out. Let's go to the beginning again. Let's go to Genesis chapter 25 and 29. Because Job 9 and 24 said that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Who is running the world? Esau, Idumea, the other nations. But what are one of Esau's customs? What did he do in the beginning? Let's read it. The book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 29. And Jacob sought pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. So what did we learn right there in verse 30? That Esau came in to the point he was about to pass out, just like our people were later on down the road, where we were reading in 1 Samuel, faint to the point where they felt they were getting ready to die. So he came in asking Jacob for some red pottage. What is pottage? Meat. Came in, let me get some of that red meat. For I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. That's what Edom means. Faint. Wasted away. Think about that. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. And what profit shall this birthright do me? And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he swore to him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentile. And he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. So for those saying that Jacob stole his blessing or stole his birthright, it just told you that Esau sold it for a piece of red meat, because he was faint to the point he was about to die. So he said he needed it right then and there. He didn't want to keep the commandments. He knew about it. He knew. Why? Because Jacob was taught. Isaac knew the commandments. Abraham knew the commandments. So you think they didn't tell him he's not supposed to eat meat with the blood in it? He did what he wanted to do. And that's still their custom to this day. You go in a restaurant, they eat raw meat. Go in the grocery stores, they in there licking their chops. Can't wait to dive into that damn steak. Think about that. So he was the one bringing in and eating meat with the blood in it. So from now, let's go to 1 Timothy 4 and 4. 1 Timothy 4:4. I ain't got too many more. 1 Timothy 4:4. First Timothy 4:4. For every creature of God is good and nothing to be refused, if it be received with thanksgiving. For it is sanctified by the word of God and prayer. So what do you get with this verse? A lot of Christians, so-called Christians, will use this as an excuse to do what? Do what they want to do, eat what they want to eat. Let me read it again so you can understand why they use it. 1 Timothy 4:4. For every creature of God is good and nothing to be refused, if it be received with thanksgiving, for it is sanctified by the word of God and prayer. So people will say, oh, I can eat that pork. It said every creature of God is good. Pork is good, swine is good, and nothing to be refused. And especially if it's received with thanksgiving. I'm thankful that I got this swine, that I got these bottom feeders, these shrimps, lobsters, and crab. I'm thankful for that. Everything God created is good. For it is sanctified by the word of God. In prayer, all I got to do is pray over it now. Wrong. Wrong. Yes, everything created by the Most High God is good. How is it good? Because it has a purpose. And if the Lord told you not to touch it, not to eat it, how is it that now you can do what you want to do? You think you can pray over what he called unclean and an abomination. Now you pray over it and you can eat it now? You're simple as hell. Proverbs 1:23. How long ye simple ones? That's what the Lord be asking you. How long ye simple ones? Will you love simplicity? That's simple as hell for you to even think that. To think all you got to do is pray over an abomination. Job what? 14:4 tell you can't nothing clean come from anything unclean. The Lord told you what? The pig, the lobster, crab, shrimp, scallops, anything that don't have scales and fins, the catfish, it is an abomination to you. You shouldn't be eating it nor touching it. But you figure by reading this verse, 1 Timothy 4:4, that you can do what you want to do now. All you got to do is pray over the food. No. The Lord tell you when you break his commandments, you are sinning. It also tells you in the scriptures that God hears not sinners. So if you sinning and you trying to pray over the food, what is the point? Is that making it clean? Is you trying to bless the Lord for giving you an abomination that he told you not to eat? Think about what you do before you do it. Do a little bit of research. Open the book and read it. Since we are calling ourselves Christians, read what it means to be there. Christ-like. Well, Christ kept the commandments. He also said he didn't come to do away with them. You don't believe it? Let's go to Matthew 5:17. Once again, Matthew 5:17. And it reads, this is red letter, so this is Christ speaking. I know we done said it a million times, but for those who are tuning in for the first time, trying to get some knowledge, some education, pay attention. Matthew chapter 5, verse 17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law. That's one time. Nor the prophets. I come not to destroy. Second time he said that. But to fulfill. What did he fulfill? Let's go to Acts 3:18. What did Christ fulfill? Because a lot of our people say, see, there you go. He said fulfill. Fulfill means that's it. It ain't no more. Well, let's see what he did. This is the book of Acts, chapter 3, verse 18. But those things which God before had showed by the mouth of all his prophets, Old Testament now, that Christ should suffer, he have so fulfilled. So what did he fulfill? The things that were written about him, meaning that he would be born of a virgin, that he would ride on a donkey's ass, that he would come to die for the remission of sins for his people. You see that? And then will later return to save his people from all those that hate them. He said, and let's go back to Matthew 5 and 18. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle, not one comma, not one period, shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. Said all be fulfilled. He ain't came back to save us, even though a lot of us run around hollering, I'm saved. No, you're not. He said till all be fulfilled. The kingdom of heaven is not here, so the law still stands. But he also tell you the earth abide forever, and his word is forever. So guess what? The law gonna always be here. Hey, I'm just a messenger. But we understand by reading the scriptures that the law is not done away with. That you can't come up with your own mindset, your own concepts, and try to run and live your life with. That'll get you destroyed. Some physically, but as a people, mentally, we destroyed. That's why we don't know who we are, nor what we're supposed to be doing as a people. We think we're supposed to just get up every day and grind for money, do what we want to do, and wonder why we getting locked up, shot down. We got all these different health issues, struggling to work together as a community. All we doing is following wicked ass trends rather than keeping the commandments of the Lord. But I digress. Let's go to Malachi 3 and 6, because a lot of people will say, well, that's the Old Testament. You reading in the Old Testament. Oh, okay. Well, let's see what he say. Malachi chapter 3, verse 6. It says, for I am the Lord. If you claiming to be a Christian, you serving the Lord, the Most High God, the creator of the heaven and the earth and everything therein. It says, for I am the Lord, I change not. So what he said in the Old Testament still stands in the New Testament. For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob, 12 tribes of Israel, sons of Jacob, are not consumed. Think about that. The Lord said he don't change. Still the same. Let's go to John 12 and 49. John 12 and 49. This is the book of John, chapter 12, verse 49. This is red letter, so this is Christ speaking. Pay attention. For I have not spoken of myself, but the Father, which sent me. He gave me a commandment, which I should say, and what should I speak? I know that his commandment is life everlasting. Whatsoever I speak, therefore, even as the Father said unto me, so I speak. So Christ is saying what? In John, keep the commandments. He came to do the commandments of the Father. That's what he gonna speak. That's what he gonna do. Keep the commandment. So if we Christians or Christ-like, we need to be doing what? Keeping God's commandments. Because he just told you he didn't come to do away with them, nor the prophets. He didn't come to destroy the law, nor the prophets. But your enemy gonna tell you that it's done away with. You wicked pastors in our communities gonna tell you that the law is done away with. What did Christ come back to die for? For your sins. What is sin? 1 John 3 and 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law. Breaking God's law is sin. Christ came to die for your sins. So what does that mean? That you can continue to sin, do what you want to do? If he tell you not to commit adultery, just like he told the woman, and they was ready to stone her to death, he said, whoever don't have, what do you say? Him without sin cast the first stone. They was ready to kill the woman, put her to death. because the law states that she was supposed to be put to death. But he gave us grace. So he told the woman what? Instead of you being put to death, go and sin no more. Here in Babylon the Great, or America as you call it, you think you got the right or the privilege to go keep sinning. And you wonder why your relationships don't work. Why you don't trust each other. Why it's so many broken households. You wonder why these things happen because you're not teaching it, nor are you living it. All you doing is chasing after the foolishness that they project on the TV in front of you, telling you a vision, telling you a dream. That's why it's called television. Tell you whatever you want to hear, not what you need to hear. But that's what we're going to do here in Israel. We're going to tell you, thus saith the Lord, what you need to hear. You know? So Christ said, keep the commandments. It's a reason for that. Let's go to Proverbs 7:2. Proverbs 7:2. Proverbs 7:2. That's my last one, I believe. Yeah. I'll start at 1. Proverbs chapter 7, verse 1. My son, keep my words and lay up my commandments with thee. Keep my commandments and live, and my law as the apple of thine eye. Keep my commandments and live. Keep my commandments and live. Stop following behind the ways of the world. Stop going in these restaurants talking about I want a damn medium rare, a rare steak. The Lord said you ain't supposed to do what? Eat anything with the blood in it. Regardless what they put on TV, regardless what they got on the menu. That's how you know they're the damn devil, when they give you the option to break God's commandments. Let me go to Deuteronomy 30 right quick, just to show you what I'm talking about. Deuteronomy 30. This is Deuteronomy 30 and 15. It says, see, I have set before thee this day life and good, and death and evil. He gave us a choice to either keep the commandments and live, or break them and die. Your enemy is going to give you the option. Yeah, you can do that. The same way he talked to Eve in the garden. Yeah, you ain't going to die. You'll be like him. You'll be like God. Giving you options to do wickedness when he's telling you don't eat nothing with the blood in it. So what does that mean? Cook the food all the way through. But the enemy puts it in a nice laminate form on a menu at one of your favorite restaurants. And what do? You want to follow after what they make available to you. You got to think about these things. These are the same individuals that own all these major corporations that set up and sell you things knowing that it goes contrary to the Most High God. Cigarettes. They know that it kills you, but they still sell it to you anyway. And then they'll tell you, hey, life is about choices. You got a choice. You either want to smoke it or not. If you really gave a damn, if you really weren't as wicked as you say you are, it wouldn't be available. Same thing with abortion. It shouldn't even be an option. It says thou shalt not kill. It shouldn't be an option. But a lot of us being ignorant, not knowing what's going on, what do? Take that option. Getting high, popping pills, getting drunk, taking that option, not knowing it's a consequence on the other end. And we so ignorant to the point where we know it's detrimental to our health. We'll do it anyway, thinking it's cool or it makes us feel a certain way. But it shouldn't be offered in the first place. That's how you know the earth is giving it to the hand of the wicked. Then the same individuals that'll give you the same thing that'll kill you. Foolishness, wickedness. But I'm just shedding light on the things that's going on in this world. So in order to be a sweet savior to the Most High God, we need to be keeping His commandments. Hopefully through this lesson, you were able to learn some things, mainly how to keep God's commandment, which is not to eat meat with blood in it. You know, take notes, ask questions, do your research. Revelation 1 and 3. Blessed is he that readeth. When you read, you get an understanding. You know what's going on. When you don't know, ask questions. You know, I'm Brother Ananias. I hope you learned something. And I say shalom.